Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 21st of August and we're going to deal with three very important topics which are in news. The first is super blue moon. Now, for the second consecutive year, Raksha Bandhan was on this super moon. Now, what is this super blue moon? Super blue moon basically happens when the full moon is on the perigee. When the full moon is on the perigee, it is called a super moon. And blue moon is when a full moon occurs twice in a month. So this kind of situation was there that full moon occurred twice in a month and that was on the perigee. That is why it is called a super blue moon. Next piece of news is water spouts. Water spouts are basically tornadoes in the oceans. The whirling water is there, and this has claimed the lives of a few people in Italy. Waterspouts have become more and more frequent due to climate change because they act like tornadoes in the water, and tornadoes are formed due to low pressure or I would say high temperature. And last topic which we're going to discuss is the three new wetlands in India have been listed in the Ramsar sites. Ramsar Convention, which is a convention signed in the year 1971, which aims to conserve the wetlands. Now, India is having 85 wetlands with the addition of these three Ramsar wetland sites. Out of these three, one is in Madhya Pradesh and two are in Tamil Nadu, making Tamil Nadu the state in India with highest number of Ramsar sites out of 85. There are around 18 sites in Tamil Nadu. So let's see. And we'll go to the MCQs, obviously, that is the protocol every day we follow. Now, super blue moon. For the second year in a row, Raksha Bandhan or Rakhi, which is celebrated on the full moon day, that is Purnima on the month of Shravan, is marked by sighting of a super blue moon on Monday, that is August 19. Now, this is unusual astronomical feat, the full moon being both a blue moon and a super moon. What is a super moon? Super moon is when a full moon is at perigee. Perigee is basically that closest point between the moon and the earth. Blue moon means if a full moon occurs twice in a month. Can it occur? Yes, because you know the time span between two full moons is 29.5 days. So let's suppose if a full moon has occurred on the first of that month, so it can occur on 30th or 31st of that month again. That will be called as a blue moon, and this happens very rarely, once in 2 or 3 years, and that is why the saying goes once in a blue moon. So super blue moon is a situation when full moon is at perigee and this full moon is occurring twice in a month. That is called as a super blue moon. You combine both of these. So what is a super moon? Is a full moon that occurs when moon is closest to the earth in its orbit. So orbit of the earth, orbit of the moon around the earth is this. This is apogee. Apogee is basically 2,52,088 miles, and this is perigee, 2,22,043 miles, means this is closer. So when a full moon occurs, when the moon's position is over here, it is called as the super moon. As simple as that. Take care. So why does it look bigger? The moon's orbit is not a perfect circle but an ellipse, which you can see. Meaning there are points where it's closer and farther from the earth. When a full moon happens at the closest point, it appears larger in the sky. It is believed that its size appears to be 14% bigger than the normal full moon. What is a blue moon? Though the expression once in a blue moon implies a rare or unusual occurrence, a blue moon is not that rare an astronomical phenomenon, because this is simply what? This is full moon if it happens twice in 1 month. So it is like this. There are a couple of definitions of blue moon. One is that it is most commonly understood and even endorsed by NASA, describes the situation when a full moon is seen twice in a single month. So I've been telling you this. Now because the new moon to the new moon cycle lasts 29.5 days, a time comes when the full moon occurs at the beginning of a month and there are days left still for another full cycle to be completed. So it can happen on 30th or 31st of that month. And according to NASA, this happens every 2 or 3 years. So that is why that saying goes once in a blue moon. Second definition, this explanation is basically Marine Farmer's Almanac in 1937 defined a blue moon as the third full moon in a quarterly season of 4 full moons. So if in a quarter there are expected to be 4 full moons, so the third full moon of that particular quarter will be called as a blue moon. So this is another definition of the blue moon which is there, but the most widely accepted definition is this one, which is endorsed by NASA as well. Now, is the super blue moon actually blue? Because this name has been given blue moon. So is it actually blue in color? So no, the answer is simply no. Sometimes smoke or dust in the air can scatter red wavelengths of light, as a result of which moon may, in certain places, appear more blue than usual. But this has nothing to do with the name blue moon. It is just only that in some places scattering of light happens, due to which it appears to be blue. So it is this reason. Is the super blue moon bigger in size? Actually, it is not bigger in size, it is the same moon, but yes, it appears to be bigger in size, but most of us won't notice also. Now, according to NASA, a full moon at perigee, that is supermoon, is about 14% bigger and 30% brighter than a full moon at apogee, called a micromoon. So when a full moon is at apogee, it is called as a micromoon. When it is at perigee, it is called as a supermoon. Further, about 25% of all full moons are supermoons, but only 3% of full moons are blue moons. That is why, very less they are. The time between super blue moons is quite irregular. It can be as much as 20 years, but in general, 10 years is the average. Is this size notable, the bigger size which we are talking about, 14% bigger? It is unlikely the difference in size will be noticeable to most of the people. The moon could appear somewhat bigger though, but whether you are able to make out the difference will depend on multiple factors. What are these factors? They are called as the so-called moon illusion and how cloudy or polluted at your location is. So we will not be able to make out. The next piece of news, that is waterspouts. So as you can see in this image behind me, they are the whirling waters, and this is basically happening from the oceans. They are also referred to as the tornadoes of the oceans or cyclones of the oceans. Cyclones are generally an atmospheric phenomenon where the whirling of winds happen in the atmosphere and then they take the water along. This whirling happens in the waters and then that water rises above. Why was this in news, waterspouts? Because at least one man died and 6 people are missing after a luxury yacht sank from the coast of Sicily, that is in Italy. And this happened due to this waterspout. The waterspout is basically a rotating column of air or mist that forms over a body of water. It is essentially a tornado that occurs over water. There are two main types: fair weather waterspouts. These are usually weaker and form in calm weather conditions. And tornadic waterspouts, these are more powerful and are actually tornadoes that form over water. So, tornadic waterspouts are more destructive as compared to fair weather waterspouts. More about it, it is basically a weaker cousin of tornadoes and typically lasts for around 5 minutes. Maximum it can last for 10 minutes. Occasionally it can last up to 10 minutes as well. Weaker cousin of tornadoes means weaker cousin of cyclones as well, because tornado is a different name for cyclones only. The average waterspouts can be around 165 feet in diameter with wind speeds of 100 kilometers per hour. Where are they formed? Are they formed in the tropics or they can be formed outside of the tropics as well? Well, largely they can be found in the tropics, are more common in the tropical waters. They can appear anywhere, means they can appear in extratropical region as well. They occur when there are high levels of humidity and relatively warm water temperatures compared to the overlying air. So, this is when they occur. And the last piece of news, that is 3 new wetland sites added to the Ramsar list. Now, this addition basically makes 85 Ramsar sites in India. And this happened on the eve of Independence Day of 2024. These 3 sites, Nanjarayan Bird Sanctuary and Kazuveli Bird Sanctuary, both of them are in Tamil Nadu. The third is Taba Reservoir in Madhya Pradesh. So, Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, the 2 states where these 3 new wetland sites have been added. In total, now there are 85 Ramsar sites in India. So, why these sites are called as Ramsar sites? So, first of all, we should understand that these are wetlands. Wetlands are those areas where, which are underwater permanently or temporarily, but they are of immense ecological significance. In 1971, in the city of Ramsar in Iran, there was an international convention signed under the aegis of United Nations only, and that convention is called as Ramsar Convention. Wetlands all over the world will be listed under this convention, and once listed, it is the responsibility of the government to protect those sites, conserve those sites, because wetlands are known to be of immense ecological significance. A lot of ecological diversity depends upon those wetlands, and thus those sites or those particular wetlands are called as Ramsar wetlands or Ramsar sites, as simple as that. Now, the Ramsar Convention, basically signed in the year 1971 in Ramsar, Iran, is the only global treaty that focuses specifically on wetlands. Intergovernmental treaty for conservation and wise use of wetlands. So, conservation we have to do, and wise use we have to do. To halt the worldwide loss of wetlands and to conserve through wise use and management those that remain is the objective of this particular convention. Members, currently 170 countries are the members. Once designated, these sites are added to the convention's list of wetlands of international importance and become known as Ramsar sites. So, like these 3 sites are now known as Ramsar sites because they have been added to the list. In designating a wetland as a Ramsar site, countries agree to establish and oversee a management framework aimed at conserving the wetland and ensuring its wise use. So, it now has become the responsibility of Government of India to conserve and manage it. Now, Ramsar Convention and India, if I talk about Ramsar Convention and India, when did India sign this convention? Did India sign it in 1971 only? No, India signed it in the year 1982. February 1, 1982 was that year. From 1982 to 2013, 26 sites were added, while 59 sites were added from 2014 to 2024 in the last 10 years. Current ranking, Tamil Nadu has the most Ramsar sites in India, that is 18, followed by Uttar Pradesh with 10 number of Ramsar sites. So these are the basics you need to know about the Ramsar sites. Now coming on to the MCQs. First question, a supermoon occurs at which of the following conditions? An apogee, a perigee, either apogee or perigee, neither apogee nor perigee. So you have to answer the correct one. It is quite simple. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. A super blue moon is bigger in size than a full moon. A blue moon is a situation when a full moon is seen twice in a month. Which of these statements are correct? Third, consider the following statements with respect to waterspouts and mark the correct one. Waterspouts occur only in the tropics. Waterspouts have become frequent due to climate change. Which of these statements are correct? Which state in India has the highest number of Ramsar sites? Very simple, direct question. You can go through the options: Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. And last question, consider the statements and mark how many of them are correct. India signed the Ramsar Convention at its inaugural session. More than half of Ramsar sites in India have been added in the last 10 years. Taba Reservoir is the latest addition in the Ramsar sites list. Only one statement is true, only 2 statements are true, all the statements are true, none of the statements are true. Now the MCQs for 20th of August, that is yesterday. We shall discuss the answers to these questions. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Small satellite launch vehicles have been indigenously developed by ISRO. This statement is correct. SSLV can launch satellites up to 500 kgs, not to the geosynchronous orbit. It is either 500 kgs to the low Earth orbit and 300 kgs to the sun synchronous orbit. So this statement is wrong. Only one is going to be the correct option. That is, A option is going to be the correct answer for this question. Which of the following can be considered as the advantages of SSLV? Less time to assemble? Yes. Less manpower required? Yes. Minimal launch infrastructure required? Yes. So all of the above is going to be the correct answer for this. It was relatively simple. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Lateral entry can bring in expertise. Yes, definitely it can bring in expertise. Lateral entry can also impact the work culture. Yes, in a positive sense also it can impact, in a negative sense also it can impact. So the statement is true. So both 1 and 2 are going to be the correct options for this. Fourth question, which of the following statements with respect to lateral entry are true? Reservation is not applicable in single seat openings via lateral entry. Yes, according to that 13-point roster, this statement is true that at least 4 seats should be there for the applicability of reservation in that. Recruitment of lateral entrants is done by UPSC. Yes, till now it has been done by UPSC. So both 1 and 2 are correct over here. So C is the correct answer for this. And last question of yesterday, arrange these posts from top to bottom of hierarchy in the central government. So in the central government, additional secretary is at this topmost position. Joint secretary after that. Then comes director. Then comes deputy secretary. And before additional secretary, if I have to tell you, there is the post of secretary. Secretary, additional secretary, joint secretary, director, deputy secretary. So 1, 3, 4, 2 in this scenario is going to be the correct sequence, and hence option B is going to be the correct answer. Now with this, we've come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, keep watching the videos, attempting the questions, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.